Hey everyone, I am Elizabeth Sherman from Total Health by Elizabeth. And what I wanted to talk about today were our cheat days. So, cheat days are a very common concept or suggestion as far as the diet and fitness community goes. So the idea is that you are good and compliant all week long, and then one day a week you have this day where you can have anything you want. And I used to eat that way, and I realized a few years ago that it just didn't work for me anymore. What was happening was I really wasn't getting the results that I wanted from my diet and exercise routine. And so I started changing a couple things, and one of those things was actually moving away from the cheat day. So let me talk about that just a little bit. So, the reason I started it was I used to belong to, I did a bodybuilding competition, and I was getting coached by a woman, and she had suggested that it wouldn't make that much of a difference, no matter what it was that we ate on this cheat day, that it really wouldn't make that much of a difference. And so what would happen is, during the week, I would be completely compliant. I would, have vegetables and lean proteins for lunch and dinner. For breakfast, I was having egg whites and oatmeal. And as far as, anyone's idea of what a healthy diet was, I was actually very healthy. But what was happening was I felt so deprived. And so during the week, I would actually make a list of all of the foods that I wanted to eat on the weekends. And damn straight if I didn't try to eat every single one of them on a Saturday. I never tallied up my calories for the day, but I tried to once, and I think I ate over 5,000 calories on one Saturday. I went to bed all the time just feeling gross and overstuffed, but it was something that I had to do because I was like, if I don't eat it now, I'm never going to be able to eat it again until next week. And so what happened is I got this scarcity mindset around food that I could only have it once in a while. And so what happened is it started me becoming obsessive compulsive about food. I would buy food at the grocery store and hold it in my pantry and keep it. And then I would never eat it. It was just like I had to have it there just in case. I knew that it was there and I had to have it there. That was enough for me at the time. So anyway, what was happening was I was really kind of binging on Saturdays just because it was, I needed to have these foods. So I would go out to dinner and overeat, and then come home and have dessert and overeat, all the while being a fitness pro and feeling like a fraud, to be honest, because here I am telling my clients how they need to be eating, and I really wasn't succeeding at having a healthy attitude towards food. So the idea came along of having a more moderate approach. And, quite honestly, I didn't think that it would work for me. I am someone who either has to have something or can't. So there's a book by Gretchen Rubin called Better Than Before. And she talks about there are two different types of people. There are people who can moderate their food, and there are people who have to abstain. And I don't know which one I am, but for a period of time, I would have to abstain from food in order to eventually get to the point where I was moderate with it. So one thing that I had to realize is that food is around us at all times. I mean, seriously, you cannot go to a checkout counter at an office supply store without having food available to you. And so what I did was I started, instead of having all of my cheat meals in one day, I actually spanned them out throughout the week. And so if you think of one day as being about 20% of your daily, of your weekly diet, what I did was I actually have dedicated 20% of my daily diet to having treats. And so what this does is it makes my eating throughout the week much more consistent. So every day I know that I can have something, whatever it is, whether it's alcohol or whether it's, a brownie or whether it's, I don't know, fried food. And so what happens is I dedicate 20% of my diet every day to having treats. And that way the allure of treats don't become so off limits, because every day I can have something. And so what happens now is that Saturday actually becomes a lot more like a Monday in terms of what my diet looks like than it did long before, because when you have the weekends and you have these cheat days and you go completely off plan, and then Sunday night kind of hits, because Saturday kind of ties into Sunday, and Sunday hits and you're still trying to eat all of those foods that you couldn't get during the week. Then Monday you vow to be good and you get right back on plan, but you feel gross. And so what this does is it makes everything level out a little bit more. So you don't have these huge spikes and these lows. And, my attitude towards food is a lot more moderate right now. So these are some of the things that I've done in terms of getting rid of cheat days and why they don't serve me. I'm not going to say that they don't serve everybody. They might serve you. But if they're not serving you, if you're doing a cheat day and you feel really guilty about it, maybe it's time to start something a little bit different and try to be a little bit more moderate in your foods throughout the week, rather than just saving them up for the weekend. So anyway, that's my idea of how to create more moderation in your life, as far as it comes away with food. And again, knowing that you can have any food at any time, what happens is it takes the allure out of that daunting food, and it stops demonizing food, because when you have something every day, it becomes very normal, and so it doesn't become so off limits and scary. I'm Elizabeth Sherman from Total Health by Elizabeth. I am a health coach, and I help my clients do this same sort of stuff too. Now, in a few weeks, I'm actually going to be opening up a program called the Bye Bye Belly Blueprint. And in that course, I actually teach my clients how to become more moderate in their approach to eating. Check it out. Stay tuned for that. And when it comes on board, if you have any questions, well, if you have any questions now, feel free to post those. But if you have any questions, feel free to post and comment. And I will see you soon. Bye. See you tomorrow.